Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Obscure Angel PT and let me welcome you to the Solstice Chronicles MIA. So this game was developed by the Ironworld Studios and it's using Unreal Engine 4, and I'm glad in here to say that I was not intended to make a benchmark or a gameplay about this game, but the developers actually gave me out the key to the game, and the publishers too, and so I decided why not. So they gave me the key, so well, I guess I need to try out the game. So that is why this video is in here. And in fact it was a quite surprise because I wasn't really expecting this game to be with so much stuff as I was really expecting. So if you played pretty much Shadowgrounds, I'm pretty sure you are going to relate a lot this game with Shadowgrounds, but this game has some things to offer. Like, let's start with the graphics. I mean, I know you are here to try to understand what's the better way to run this game, and in my opinion the best way is for you to use the native resolution of your laptop. And I kind of created a custom preset, so it's pretty much a mix between a low and medium presets. The only thing I raised it was the textures because we had the VRAM for that. I raised the shadows to medium, and I had to raise the special effects to medium in order for the shadows to happen. And so why did I enable the shadows at all? So I enabled the shadows because it makes a big difference in the atmosphere of this game. So I will show you the first mission. This mission, it's pretty much a big horde of enemies coming up. But as you can see, the game is not running great. I'm running with 25 FPS. Keep in mind that I'm recording with OBS. So dropping to 720p while recording gives up some boost in performance, but what I recommend you to do is to use the native resolution but drop the resolution scaling. So I'm going to drop the resolution scaling to something like 75. This should make the game to render something close to 600p. And as you can see, we now have 30 FPSs. Keep in mind that I'm recording. OBS can take up like 3 to 5 FPSs, so it means that the game is running great without recording. And if you want to know how exactly great it is running without recording, just check the description of the video. I have there some results that you might want to check it out. Okay, this is the first mission of the game. There are a lot of zombies, monsters, whatever coming. There is a lot of actions, a lot of shadows. Okay, if I disable the shadows, the game will look pretty dull, and so this way it looks awesome. And with the resolution scaling set to 75%, actually what I get is the same performance as the low settings with the resolution scaling set to 100. So this is absolutely great. So what can I tell you about Solstice MIA? So this game, like I told you, it's pretty much a Shadowground experience game. You have kind of a story, there are cutscenes that tries to explain more and less what the hell is happening or what the hell is going to happen. That is kind of a drone that will help you out and have a life. Let's say this way. It reminds me a lot of the Portal 2, our little fellow GLaDOS, okay, that have been with us a lot of time. But this time this is a different GLaDOS, let's say this way, because this one can actually help us. There are some skills that you can use from the drone, and actually you end up unlocking some more skills to the drone that might be helpful as long as you are going to complete the campaign. So your character, you can personalize your character. It has some sort of RPG stuff that you can personalize. You can give more power to some things than the others. You actually have some classes. This is quite interesting because there are multiple classes you can choose from. Some others more tank, others more kind of ranged attacks. So it's very interesting. Okay, you actually have a survival type of game that I didn't try out, so I can't really pronounce how great it is or not. But there is one thing that really surprised me a lot in this game. It's the inclusion of a cooperative. Well, this is not really something new, because if you think of Alien Swarm is pretty much a cooperative game, but what I wasn't really expecting is to have a cooperative where you can play in the same screen and in the same computer. So let's imagine that you have a brother or a sister, and your brother wants to play with you this game. You can actually do it if you have kind of a gamepad. So you pick up the gamepad, your brother pick up the keyboard and mouse. Always give him the worst controllers possible to him. That's the best tip that I can give you. Okay, you play in the gamepad, your brother plays in the keyboard and mouse, and both of you can play just fine the game in the same screen. Okay, the game kind of adapts the enemies to be a little bit more challenging to the both of you, so it's kind of interesting what the developers done in here, and I actually like it a lot. So what I didn't like about the game? Well, it seems to the game not be as big as I was expecting. I didn't complete the game, but the level seems a little bit kind of more or less the same thing, and they seem to end up pretty quickly at some points. I might be wrong, okay, I didn't complete the entire game, so I might be wrong on this. What I also didn't like, it was the optimization. Keep in mind that in this laptop it's great, but when there are a lot of monsters, especially on the HB workshop and forward levels, the game tends to create a bottleneck, and it means that, well, the performance goes to shit, whatever the settings that you are using, okay? It doesn't go that bad, it goes to 25, 26 FPS, it's not bad, but for example, I reviewed this game on my desktop, and it kind of happens the same thing, but on my desktop I was trying to target 60 FPS and I was only getting 30s on those things. But in this laptop the story is a little bit different, because you kind of get like a 30 FPS experience, and so if it drops to 25 it's not that dramatic. But as you can see, the visuals are amazing, especially if you use these custom presets. You kind of have shadows, the graphics are amazing, explosives, you can pick up this barrel and throw to the monsters, boom! So it's kind of a great experience that you can have. And if your question was if you can run this game, yes, you can run the game at around 30 FPS, and you can actually have shadows, which makes the game visually great, okay? That's the thing, you can run the game and have nice visuals and a frame rate between some sort of 25 to 30 FPS, okay? If you are interested in seeing gameplay, I created a new YouTube channel called Grumpy Turtle. For now, I just have like their Tomb Raider 4 gameplays, because I'm trying to clean my old games from Steam. But I also will start Tomb Raider 5, and I'm thinking seriously in starting a playthrough of this game. Since the developers gave me out the key for the game, why not show to the world the rest of the game, right? So I might start to do a playthrough, okay? So search for Grumpy Turtle, I have a link on the description, so if you want to subscribe there and watch gameplay from classic games and games that developers usually offer me, I will put their playthroughs from the beginning until the end of the games, okay? Guys, thank you a lot for watching. And if you want to check it out, how is the performance without recording, it's on the description of the video or by the end of it. Goodbye. Thank you a lot for watching.
This is it, Grunt. Go!
Howell Barracks workshop. Now let's find that suit.
A combat suit. Like a Solstice 4 or a Solstice 5, maybe?
Finally.
Oh, come on. It's the end of the world and security tags still work? Damn it! level, medium. Threat level, low.
Hello boys and girls, welcome to the performance section of the video. So in the Last Man Standing, which was the first brand mission that you saw in the video, with my custom presets, with a mix of low and medium settings with the 75 resolution scaling, I got a nice performance with an average of 33 FPS and with a minimum around the 29, so very good results for its graphics. I mean, we have the complete shadowing system, we have shadows all over the place, a lot of dynamic shadows and better special effects. Although, despite the low settings provides a little bit better FPS with an average of 37 and a minimum of 32. The fact is the game starts to look a lot bland because there is no dynamic lighting, no dynamic shadowing, so it makes the game a little bit weird for the type of game that it is. So I still recommend you my custom solution, that is why I created it, okay? As for the median settings, if you put the entire game on median and use the default resolution scaling, which is 100%, well, the game frame rate is around 26 and with a minimum of 22, so I don't think it's too much acceptable. I know that there are people out there that can play this way, but even the difference in graphics between these two settings, it's I mean the median and my custom low median, it's not very different. Probably the biggest difference that you are going to notice is on the resolution scaling. But well, when we change to the HB workshop, which is level a little bit more forward into the game, the performance starts to be a little bit different. I mean, it seems that the game starts to attack more the CPU, and this creates a bottleneck. It means that the graphic card, it's kind of waiting for the CPU to deliver work, and the CPU is kind of overwhelmed with work, like, I can't move, I can't deliver work to the graphic card, and the graphic card is like there in a way that is like, how can I explain this? I'm not English, but like, okay, so I'm waiting for your work, so the frame rate is going down no matter what settings you have. So as you can see, the difference between these three settings starts to be smaller than in the first level. This is because the CPU starts to be a little bit overwhelmed with work because there are more monsters, and I talked a little bit with the developers, and the developers told us, or told me in this case, that this is probably related to the paths that needs to be calculated to the enemies or the zombies or the aliens to understand where they need to go, and this takes a lot of CPU. They claim that they are going to take a look into this and find a way to optimize it a little bit better, so this would be amazing. Regarding consistency, you can see that pretty much 25% of the frames are lower than 30 FPS on the low and custom low median, while for the 25 FPS targets, it's just pretty much 1% for the low and the custom median. So what can I say is that if you choose the low settings or the median settings, what you're going to get into the game frame rate is going to be between 25 to 40 FPS. So I think it's a very acceptable frame rate. It's a reasonable one. It's not perfect, but it's fine. You can play the game and enjoy it. Very fine. You are not going to find any trouble playing the game, okay? But if you choose to go with the median settings and with the native resolution, what it's going to happen is the frame rate will be a little bit bad, lower than 30 FPS, so I don't recommend you to go with the median. Either go with the low settings, which is completely bland, or go with a resolution scaling of 75% and something in between the low and median, like I have at the very beginning, okay? And that is why I recommend it. So with these settings, what I had, it was 600 megabytes of VRAM usage. The RAM usage was around 4.2 gigabytes, but keep in mind that I use this laptop for work, so there are a little bit more extra RAM usage. I still believe that you can play this game if you have 4 gigabytes of RAM. CPU usage was between the 20s and the 50%, so it's a little bit weird because I said that the CPU was overwhelmed, and it's true, it is overwhelmed at some way because the GPU usage is kind of drops when those things happens. I know that is written there 99%, but for example, if you go with the low settings, the GPU usage is between the 85 and 99%, so it means that it is waiting for the CPU to deliver the work. So I do really hope they optimize a little bit better, but I don't expect it to make a big difference in this laptop anyway. So if you plan in some way to watch a playthrough about this game, I decided to create a new channel called Grumpy Turtle some months ago. I started to play Tomb Raider 4 there, and eventually I will play Tomb Raider 5. But my objective there is to complete old games, you know, start to complete old games that I have on my Steam account and progress into newer games and make playthrough of all of them, or at least part of them. Okay, so my objective is to finish the games and offer a playthrough from the beginning until the end. So my plan is with making it with the old games, but if developers offer skis like these developers, I make an exception and start to make playthroughs about this game. So I do expect to start to upload videos about this game soon on that channel. The channel is called Grumpy Turtle. You can find a link on the description of the video, so in case you are interested in seeing a playthrough, just wait a little bit there because I'm pretty sure that I will upload videos of this game. So guys, that's all that I want to talk about Solstice Chronicles MIA. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I do hope that this thing was helpful. So thanks for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Think a lot.